Hey Meeple people, and on today's vlog, we're playing Stardew Valley, the board game, by ConcernedApe. Let's get into it.
If you're watching this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature. So I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. Stardew Valley the board game is a cooperative game of farming and friendship inspired by Eric Barone's game of the same name. In it, you'll work together to fulfill your grandpa's goals and restore the community center, saving it from the nefarious Joja Corporation. You'll need to engage with all that the valley has to offer: crops, animals, hidden forageables, elusive fish, an unexplored mine, and of course, the friendly locals. If you succeed, the valley will thrive. If you fail, the Joja Corporation moves in and the magic of the valley will fade.
Hey Meeple people, and hey Sarah.
Hi there.
So what game are we playing on our vlog today?
Today we are playing Stardew Valley the board game, which is a 1 to 4 player game from ConcernedApe. This game is the board game version of the app of the same name. I only played the app just a little tiny bit, but I did play almost kind of like a knockoff of the app. So I'm sort of familiar with the Stardew Valley universe. I'm quite familiar with the video game version of it. But you've never played, right?
I've never played.
Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and play the board game version today on the channel. Would you like to know a little bit about it?
Yes.
All right, so it's a cooperative worker placement game set in Stardew Valley. And the way that we're going to win is we will accomplish all 4 of these goals right here. And there are more of these in the box. There's more of most of this stuff in the box. But these are the 4 we've selected for this game right here. So we're going to have to complete all 4 of these goals right here. And we're going to have to reveal and complete each of these bundles as well. And the way that it works is it's a cooperative game, so we're going to be working together. There's no hidden roles, there's no trader mechanic, nothing like that. We'll either win or lose as a team. And so what's going to happen is each of us has a pawn which represents our character in the game. And we are going to be planning together how we would like to sort of tackle each round of the game. And then we're going to be carrying out various actions in an attempt to do a ton of different things, which are going to help us hopefully meet the goals that we need to meet in order to complete the game. The game will end and we will lose if we make it all the way through the season card deck and we haven't completed either 1 or more of our goals, or if we haven't completed the bundles here for each of these rooms in the community center. So the way that it works is at the beginning of each round, we'll reveal a new season card, and they're kind of like event cards where they'll have some things that we'll do that'll be different for every card that's revealed. And they'll give us resources, or maybe they'll cost us something, or we'll get like an upgrade or that kind of stuff. Just kind of depends on what's on the card. So we'll reveal a season card to start with, and then we'll go into the planning phase where players will work together to sort of decide how they're going to carry out the next phase of the game. So maybe I think, oh, you know what? I have like a bonus if I go fishing. Maybe I should go fishing, and then I should walk down to the community center over here and spend some resources to reveal a bundle. And you're like, okay, that sounds good. While you're doing that, I'll go farm. Right, so we can work together to determine what we think is the best plan of action for each player and what we think needs to happen sort of throughout that round in order for players to sort of get some things accomplished. After the planning phase, in player order, we're actually going to carry out the actions that we planned in the planning phase. And then at the end of each player's turn, when they've completed their actions, they're going to return to the house, and there will be sort of like a end of turn bonus that you get to carry out at the house. What you can do on your turn is you can move to a location in Stardew Valley to perform an action. And you can either stay in the same location and perform 2 actions at that location, or you can perform 1 action at the location where you started, and then you can move like 1 space adjacent to where you currently are and complete another action. So for example, if I wanted to, I could visit Robin right here and build 2 buildings. Or I could move from this location after I've bought a building, and I could go over here and collect from any farm animals that I have. Once I've completed my 2 actions, like I said, I return to the house and I get some end of turn abilities if I meet the criteria needed for those. And then it becomes the next player's turn and they carry out what they planned in their planning phase and so on. And we just continue until each player has completed their turn and returned to the house. And then we reveal the next season card and we do it all over again. There are 4 season cards in each season. And then there's an end of season card, which is going to help us with some like cleanup and moving on to the next season of the game. So there are essentially 12 rounds in the game. And at the end of the 12 rounds, if we have not completed all of these objectives here and revealed and fulfilled all of the bundles in the community center here, then we lose. But if we have done all of that, then we win. Cool. And that is Stardew Valley, the board game.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I haven't played the app or anything like that, but all the components are pretty cool. So you'll see there's pink. That's kind of like the season of, what, spring?
Right, so these are forageables that we can find in spring, and there are forageables for every season. So we'll put out new forageables at the end of each season. This one's for summer and fall, and then finally winter. And we'll have new forageables that we get to collect each season. There's a ton of stuff that comes directly from the source material. Like I said, I've only played Stardew Valley just a little bit, but I do play another game that's very, very similar to Stardew Valley. And I felt like the way that they sort of captured the feeling of this type of game, which is normally an app-driven game, the way that they captured the feeling of it on the tabletop was incredible. Some of this really, really feels very reminiscent of what you would do in the app. For example, there's fishing that you can perform, and for me, fishing was very, very challenging in Stardew Valley. And in this game, it is based off of these dice right here, which you roll to see if you can capture certain fish, and you can only capture certain fish at certain locations, right? So there's a lake fishing location over here, and that's where you can catch any fish that have the green circle. Right now we don't have any of those out. There's also an ocean fishing location, so that would be where you'd catch ocean fish, like that gray cockle over there. And then finally there's a river fishing location, which is where you could catch maybe that walleye over there. And when you fish, you roll these dice and you have to get results based on what type of fish you're aiming to collect. So if I went river fishing, for example, I would roll the dice, and then if I was very, very lucky and I got 2 stars, and then this little guy right here, I could actually capture both the perch and the walleye because I would have all of the icons represented on the dice that I need to catch all those fish.
Yeah, the hearts and the...
But if I wasn't, let's say that I rolled 3 hearts, for example, then I could only catch the perch instead since I didn't meet the requirements for the walleye. Okay. And I felt like in the app, fishing is... If you're skilled at fishing, then you have like a greater chance, but there's still a challenge, right? It's still a little bit outside of your control. And I felt like that was really captured very well in the use of the dice. You know, you could be a really skilled fisherman, but the fish might still get away. And I felt like they did a good job with that. There's also a mine, which there is a mine in the video game as well. And in the mine, you can explore and find different resources. Sometimes you find treasure. Sometimes you can move deeper into the mine, and all of that works really well in the board game version as well. You can make friends in the board game, and those come in the form of these cards, these villager cards. Each of them is a friend that you can make, which will provide you with different benefits throughout the game. You can acquire farm animals and buildings, which will help you to raise livestock and produce more resources and that kind of thing. You can plant crops, and there's a whole bunch of crops from the game. You can forage, you can...
and foraging is just moving, because every time you move through, like over here, these are always wood, but these are just mysteries. And we played a game before this, and it actually almost helped us to win. Because we were like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete this. And then we had a chance. We still lost, but it was closer.
Close.
It was very close.
So, so there's a lot of things. I think everything that you can do in the board game is something that you could do in the video game as well. And they've done a really fantastic job sort of translating this from an app-based video game into sort of like a tabletop experience. It still feels very, very much like Stardew Valley, but it's now a tabletop experience. Should we try it?
Yeah, let's get into it. So we'll get back with you all midway through the game, and we'll talk to you about our experiences and what we're thinking of Stardew Valley so far as we get through it. So let's get to it. Toodles! Welcome back, Meeple people, and hello, Sarah.
Hi.
So, how's Stardew Valley going so far? That's about it.
I'm stressed.
It's a pretty intense game for a company that is making video games, and now it's dipped its toe into the board game. It's like not dipped its toe; it full on cannonballed, and it did a good job.
They produced a nice game, especially for it being like as far as I know, their first board game or tabletop game. They did a very nice job with this, but it's definitely a challenging cooperative experience.
It's pretty intense over here. We made some friends, gaining some new abilities, collecting some things, spending some things. We're doing pretty well on our objectives. This side's not done yet, but we're pretty on the way with that. But we finished.
Yeah, we've got about half of this finished, right? So we've completed half of this. We still have half to go. And we are doing pretty well on these. Nick's got one of the legendary fish he needs for this one right here. We've built one of the buildings we need for this, so we're like halfway done on both of these. We have a little bit more than half of the animals we need to complete this one, and we're about halfway finished with this one as well. So if you think about it like in terms of the game, we're like halfway through the game round-wise, and we're also about halfway through the game like objectives-wise. If we stay on this trajectory, we will maybe
make it. Yeah, because this is getting pretty tight. We're really like having to think our moves during the planning phase, and we're just really making sure that we don't miss anything, and that our friends help us out when we acquire them, and that we have what they need. Because sometimes they like certain things, they dislike certain things. So if you don't have everything, then you could be in some trouble and will kind of feel like you waste your turn. So yeah.
So that's one of the things that you have to do to win the game, is you have to complete these 6, they call them bundles. You have to complete the 6 bundles. So here are like 3 that we saw already and completed. So, for example, like this one said that we had to have a spring forageable. So these are the forageables, and there's different ones for each season. So in the spring, in order to complete this bundle right here, we needed to have a spring forageable that we could like spend for this one. This one says if you had any river fish or a legendary fish, you needed that to complete this bundle. And then this one said any summer crop. So those are crops that you can plant like in your farm. And so these are ones we've completed. We'll have 3 more to go. We don't know exactly what their requirements are because in order to actually reveal these, you have to spend these heart tokens. You spend 2 heart tokens to reveal one of the bundle cards, and you get heart tokens mainly based on making friends, and when you make a friend, you you go to a location in the town and you
Make a friend?
yeah, you draw a card from the friend deck, and they have some things that they would like to be able to be your friend. So this stuff over here is stuff that they really, really like, and if you give them any of these items, they'll give you 2 hearts. This stuff over here is stuff they don't want. They won't accept these items right here. So if you're lucky enough to have the items that they need to give you the 2 hearts when you draw the card, then you get double the hearts. Otherwise, you only get 1. And if just kind of randomly their birthday falls in the current season, you'll get an additional heart. But we've played through 1.5 games at this point, and we've never had a birthday match up to the current season.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
So,
and then lately, just in our last few rounds where we've been getting friends, they are like literally a season off. We're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, so it's pretty challenging to get the hearts that you need to reveal these here, and we're working on it.
Indeed.
Working on it. We'll see how well it goes, though. We're doing pretty well with a couple of these. Like I said, we're a little bit more than halfway finished with this one here. We just need 1 more animal to be able to complete this one here. And unless we want to build a barn, which is going to cost a significant amount of money and resources, the next animal that we can acquire is the rabbit. And it's going to cost us $10 to get the rabbit. So we need to get some money before we're really going to be able to afford to complete this right here. Nick is the best of us at fishing, so he'll need to fish to try to find these legendary fish. There's only a couple of them in the bag, and when you fish, when you fish on the fish track. So the fish track is usually full with 5 different items.
Fill them up.
Yeah, we got to fill it up before the next round, but usually the fish track has 5 different items on it, and there are fish that you can acquire, thank you, at various locations. Sometimes there's garbage, but there's only a couple legendary fish in the bag. So Nick's been fishing quite a bit to try to get those drawn out of the bag so that we can grab them and get what we need to complete this one. But we haven't gotten both of them yet. We drew one in one of the
we drew an event.
Yeah, I think it was an event we drew that gave us a legendary fish. So we've got one of the ones we need for this, but we still need 1 more. We need to build 2 buildings, and so far we've only built the 1. We've got a coop, and we'll need to either build a barn or a stable or well in order to complete that objective, and we'll need a lot more money than we currently have for that, but we have a crop over here that if we can safely shepherd it all the way to the end of this track here without crows eating it, then we'll get some money when we harvest that crop. So maybe that could help us get to that goal right there. And then, like I said, we also need to get through the next 6 levels of the mine, and the way that you do that is either when you go to the mine, you roll 2 dice, which are over here, and based on the results, you'll get things based on this grid, right? So like if I rolled this right here, then I can either get nothing or a rock. And so based on what you get out of the mine here, sometimes you'll be able to acquire stone, and you can use stone to build stairways or like ladders down to the next level of the mine. Or if you're lucky enough to land on this icon right here, so that would look like this. If I through this result, then I would get to use this to move down into the next level of the mine. So yeah, so we're well on our way, but we are halfway through. So I guess we'll just see if we make it or not.
Indeed. So let's go ahead and jump back into Stardew Valley, the board game, and we will catch you guys at the end and say if the board game won or if we won. All right, toodles! Welcome back, Meeple people, and hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
So, Sarah, Did we prevent the JoJo Corporation from taking over the Sweet Valley?
Yes, we did.
Heck yeah, we did!
So yeah, the game is over. We have won. It was a little hairy scary there for a while, but we were able to complete all of the things we needed to do to restore the community center, as well as fulfill all of our goals for this particular game. And we won. And I think we had maybe like 3 rounds left, so we actually won, I think, pretty early in the game.
Yeah, because it really got hairy there for a second. We didn't think we were going to make it, and then we finished a few things. We're like, oh, well, it looks like we're actually going to do it. And then, we didn't want to. I was being too optimistic. Sarah was like, slow your roll, man.
It's like, don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it. And so, yeah, it was fun. It was a nice, close end. And definitely don't expect to win your first time with this game. But during your second time, I would say, after you have a handle on the game, I feel like you can do a lot better. But yeah,
I feel like you might win your first game if you're really, really on top of things, or if like the luck of the die just go your way kind of thing. It's not one of those cooperative games where like you're bound to lose more often than you will win.
Yeah. I do think your choices within the game and the way every player like deals with their turn is very like your moves are pretty tight.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you mess up,
you don't want to just be like wandering around, not accomplishing anything, because you'll probably waste too much.
That's why they have a whole planning phase in this game.
Yeah. I like it. I think that it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the co-op nature of this one. I'm not always a huge fan of cooperative games, but this one felt like we were really working towards, a communal challenge. We were working together to meet that challenge, and I liked the way that it felt. It felt like a friendly, cooperative experience where we were really, working together to succeed, and I enjoyed that. And I know that could be said of a lot of cooperative games, but I just felt like in this one it was, I don't know, it felt like our mission was very well suited to being a cooperative one. So I didn't mind the co-op nature in this one. It felt like we were like together, on a journey sort of thing. I liked the way that they sort of shopped this over from the app. I think they did a really, really fantastic job capturing the overall feel of the game, exploring the valley and all of the different areas within the valley, making friends and finding collectibles and, forageables, and working with like your farm to grow crops and livestock and that kind of stuff. It all felt very, very, very steeped in the Stardew Valley sort of universe. I feel like they did a really phenomenal job translating this from an app to a board game and retaining that original feeling of the game, and I would say like the nature of the game. So yeah, what did you think, Nikki?
Like you said, I'm not really someone for co-op games, but this game just did a bang-up job. It really, the theme and the mechanics and the rules were easy for you to teach.
They were.
It was like a little bit of a cringe. We were like, oh no, this is a new company trying to come into the board game space. And so,
I feel like they did a phenomenal job on everything. The production is great. The rules are phenomenal. Very easy to understand, which is nice because I feel like this game is probably a greater opportunity to draw in maybe non-board gamers into the hobby a little bit. And if we can lower the barriers to entry for new players of hobby games, then that is always good. And a rule book that is easy to understand and easy to follow definitely lowers the barrier to entry. So I'm really pleased that they did a good job with the rule book. And yeah, everything looks great. They provided a lot of everything. In every game, you only use a small portion of all of the cards, the tiles, the tokens, everything. There's like tons and tons of extras. So I don't feel like you're going to play the same game maybe ever. It would take a lot to play the same game.
You'd have to play this game, like you said, a lot to get a feel for the game, but without playing it like every single day, every day, in and out through the month, you're always playing a new game. You're always getting that new, fresh experience.
This is like just one example. This was the item deck, and this was the amount of item cards that we actually used this game.
And this is 2-player.
So
it might be different.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a little bit different with more players, but like for us, that we used these items. Maybe Nick's got like 1 or 2 more over there. But other than that, like this is what we used, and this is what we didn't. And like you can see, that's true of like every single one of these.
They don't just give it to you. You have to fight for it. You have to farm for it.
Yeah, but the like decks themselves, like there's so much that we
there's just so much within the game, and also the time restraint. The seasons are not waiting for you. They're going. They continue to just drop, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is and that's a couple points within the game we were getting nervous because the time was just flying by.
Yeah. I usually don't like games where you have more to do than you can do. I usually get like flustered. I'm like, there's too much to do. I can't do it all. And then I don't really like that pressure. I know that some people do, and that's fine, but I'm just not like that. And I normally don't enjoy experiences like that where there's more to do than I'm actually going to be capable of doing in the time that I have. But in this one, it felt like it forced you to really concentrate on what was necessary. I feel like there's a lot going on in the game, and you could choose to kind of get sort of sidetracked or distracted by doing like almost like side quest type stuff. But if you do that, you're probably not going to win the game. So I like that while you may want to do more than what you're going to have time to do, that time restraint does help you to sort of focus on the achievements that are important to make so that you can win.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was our vlog of Stardew Valley by ConcernedApe. ConcernedApe.
Yeah.
Yep. And we hope you all enjoyed. And we'll catch you all next time on our next vlog. And if you enjoyed this content, please hit that subscribe button and like and bell, and also the bell icon, so you can stay up to date on all of our amazing content.
Including a giveaway, which we are doing right now. So Nick will put a link to the announcement video in the description below.
And also at the end. We'll put it at the end too.
Sounds good. So we're giving away a piece of board game decor. And we will give that away to one lucky winner at the end of the contest period. It's open to international participants, so everybody is welcome to join, and good luck.
Yeah, good luck. So until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Toodles!